Hello, hello, and happy Thursday as we're heading into the end of the week. We are still going strong, celebrating International Coaching Week. So, a huge thank you to all of you who have joined us during this week, either for our lives or for our workshops, or even if you've been sort of commenting and sharing your thoughts on our social posts. We are really grateful to each and every one of you for bringing the energy this week while we've been celebrating International Coaching Week. Are we live on Instagram? Not yet. I'm going to keep talking for a little bit longer. Okay. So if you're new to us, if you haven't met us before, I'm Sarah Bramall, joined by my friend and co-founder of the Coaching Catalysts, Rebecca Daniel. Together, we head up the Coaching Catalysts, which is an organization providing supervision, learning and development, and community for professional coaches. We've had the absolute joy this week of connecting with many different coaches from all around the world who have all come together to celebrate the power of coaching, the power of supervision, to share best practice collectively. And it has been a really, really wonderful experience. We have opened doors to the collective, and we are currently onboarding new coaches to come and join us in the service. And throughout this week, we've been showcasing some wonderful members of our community.
We are all good, Sarah. It's been an absolutely busy week, but a week nonetheless that are full of connection, community, and learning and development. But today we have another showcase. We have one of our lovely collective members, another coach for you to learn a bit more about their background, what they do, their journey into supervision, so that it gives you a good insight into what's next for you potentially too. So without further delay, we're going to introduce the lovely Morwenna to the stage. Hello.
Hello, lovely to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Morwenna. Happy Thursday. Yeah. Thursday, Tech Thursday, but always the thoughtful Thursday. So welcome today, Morwenna.
Thanks very much. Lovely to be here.
So with you here today, it would be lovely. Obviously, the collective know you very well. It would be lovely for you to share with the community and those who are over on Instagram and over on LinkedIn as well, a bit more about you and who you are.
Sure. So Morwenna Stewart, I'm a coach and a trainer. They're my two main things at the moment. I've done lots of other things as well, but that's the kind of the TLDR about me. Yeah. How much more do you want to know?
So you have a coaching niche. Is there anyone in particular that you like to coach?
Yes, I do. Yes. So I work primarily with neurodivergent people. So autistic, ADHD, dyslexic, dyspraxic, dyscalculic, and some others. I do that through an agency and for myself. So you can find me at yourcoachingpartner.co.uk, and I'm also on pretty much all the socials under that name or under my own name. You can find me under both. So coaching and training neurodivergent people, and also the people they work with. So coaching sometimes managers and training managers and colleagues, so they can understand their neurodivergent colleagues better and incorporate them and help them to sort of work to their strengths and all that good stuff.
Thank you for sharing that. And have you been doing it for long? Have you been in that niche for a long time?
So I've been with the agency that I work with, the specialist agency, 5-6 years, something like that. But I've been coaching for more like 8-9 years, something like that. So I came from background-wise, I did an English Lit degree, and then I went into marketing, communications, publications, writing, editing, specialized in writing and editing, and then started training people to write and edit, and then got really interested in coaching because I thought it's fine to sort of edit what people are doing, but actually it's much better if you teach them and coach them through it themselves instead to get them to think about it. And that's what got me interested in coaching, and I was just absolutely hooked after I did a short course in coaching. That was me. Found my thing.
It's always really cool when you find your thing, and some people always say that they didn't know they were coaching when they were coaching, and when they realized what it was, they were like, and I didn't know that you had a background in English Lit as well. So Sarah and I, we've got a lot to talk about then in that area. We probably won't be getting us to shut up if we spoke about that.
Oh yeah, because you're teachers by background, aren't you?
Yeah, and our
You're both teaching.
specialism is in
Yeah.
English and English lit as well. So
There we
yeah,
go. More in common than we realised. Yeah.
more in common than we realise.
Brilliant.
That's why it's always, I really enjoy these conversations, Morwenna, because it's just such a great opportunity to share more about you, but to celebrate the journey that you've been in, but also to look back and to connect all of those dots and look at how what you've done has brought you to where you are today.
Yeah. Thank you.
So can I ask, Morwenna, how you came across the collective? What was your journey into joining us?
I'm sort of trying to remember as I joined today. I was thinking, how did I come across you? I know Rebecca we both worked for, I think we worked for the similar agency, the same agency. So we knew each other from then. And I think I must have known your name. And so when I started seeing information about the collective online, I thought, this sounds interesting, and started to sort of follow you and think about it. And for many years, I'd had supervision, mostly very good, but once or twice I'd had some supervision that I really didn't like and I wasn't very happy with. So I was kind of, do I want to go with people I know that I don't know and so on? But because I knew Rebecca, I thought, that's probably more likely that she's going to be good because I know her background a little bit. So it was good to have that kind of personal connection. And yeah, the experiences I've had have been absolutely perfect. Been really, really amazing. So yeah, I think it was just on social media. Your name started coming up and I started thinking, I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you? And then realizing that that's where I knew you from the agency that we work for, and that was it. Yeah.
That's lovely to hear, Morwenna, and you're right, like those personal connections and relationships are always really important. Also, good for us to know that all of this craziness that we do on social media is having some impact.
Yeah, people are listening.
You.
You're not just speaking into the void.
Right. So thank you for reassuring us about that. We're using our time. It's yielding. It's bringing wonderful people like you, Morwenna, to us. So it's worth every moment from that point of view. So what do you get then from supervision?
Well, it's interesting. It's a lot to try and explain in a few words, isn't it? I mean, there are various supervision models that I know a little bit about, and they have different kind of aspects to them, and talking about the kinds of things you get from supervision. I think sometimes coaching can be a bit of a lonely occupation because we're working with clients and a lot of what we do is confidential. So I can't, get off a call at the end of the day and say to my partner, oh God, this happened, or I'm worried, or this wasn't great, or, or even something went really well, and give detail. So there's a kind of purpose of supervision for me of having a collective, a group of people who you can talk to who get it, and you can talk about what's going on, and have that confidentiality because you've got that safe space to do it. So that's what I get from that. But I also get lots of things like challenge. It's not even quite sort of in your face challenge. It can be quite gentle challenge. Often is very gentle, but it makes me think in ways that I hadn't thought before and challenge my thinking. So it kind of gives that safe space, that community, the ability to talk about stuff that you can't talk elsewhere, all of those good things, loads more, but also kind of business connections. So a couple of the people who I've been in coaching, in supervision with, we've connected offline and we've done other bits of work together. I'm going to go on somebody's podcast, Julie Crab, hello if you're there. So it kind of brings all those interesting opportunities that you don't necessarily expect because people are doing such different things. So yeah, I mean, loads and loads of positives from supervision, and seeing it done well, which is what is happening through you guys, is very inspiring, and makes me think eventually, I would like to go and learn how to do supervision as well. So it's given me kind of career ideas. Yeah, loads of positives, loads of good things. I could go on and on, but that's probably enough.
I saw Sarah doing a happy dance behind there, so nobody she was doing a little wiggle when you said, I think I'm going to go into supervision. So that's so exciting. Brilliant. That power of coaching, it's the power of training, it's the power of supervision, because we can inspire others by the work that we do, and then it continues on. You're in Nicola's supervision group, aren't you? And I can imagine, honestly, if I could be in that room, I can imagine the good stuff that goes on in there. And when you talk about community as well, Morwenna, that's like the key and the heart of what we do. Us as people is really, really important. So that's exciting. Watch this space, everybody.
Yeah, you never know.
So we've spoken about your journey into supervision, into coaching, your background, what you do as a trainer, as a coach. What are you working on at the moment, Morwenna? What's going on in your world?
Well, gosh, how long have you got? So as we were saying before we started the live session, I've just started doing a master's degree. So that's taking up a lot of my headspace at the moment, as you can imagine. I haven't been in academia for too many years. I'll give away my age there, 20 years. So, that's a bit of a kind of jump to suddenly start thinking about academia again. So I'm doing that part-time. So half of my day is in the mornings I'm working with clients and doing client work, and in the afternoon I'm studying. So that's really interesting at the moment. It's psychology conversion masters, because I'm very interested in how we all tick and how we think and what we do, why we do the things that we do. Human beings are a complete mystery to me. It's interesting to notice actually quite a few people on the course. I'm studying with Brunel, and quite a few people on the course are neurodivergent as well, as I am. And it's quite interesting. I think there's something in us that when we don't quite understand people and how they tick, then we're drawn to study it and to understand it better. So I think there's something interesting in that. But anyway, so that's taking up a lot of time. I've been doing lots of sessions for various organizations. So if you know who I mean by WBECS, WBECS, who they used to be, they're now coaching.com. And they bring a lot of the kind of pretty big names in coaching together to do a year-round summit. And I spoke last week, did a session on neurodiversity in coaching. So if you're involved with coaching.com/WBECS, you'll find my session there. So I got an amazing call the other day, a few weeks back, from somebody who works at the Pentagon, believe it or not, and their coaching network, and said, "Would you come and talk about neurodiversity in coaching to us?" I was like, "Sure, why not? Absolutely." So I kind of grab every opportunity that comes along, because you never know where things are going to go. So lots of training, lots of studying for me. I'm being quite careful about how much coaching I take on, because I can end up saying, "Oh, yes, yes, yes," to every client. And actually, sometimes I need to sort of say no, and actually, let's look at my workload and do I have capacity? So I'm doing some gentle self-care and some self-awareness. And actually, supervision helps with that as well, making sure I'm not overloading myself. So another benefit to supervision. Tick. Yeah. So lots going on.
Oh, thank you, Morwenna. It's so inspiring to hear everything you've been up to, everything that's coming up for you. I always get so much from speaking to you. So thank you so much for sharing. And what's the best place for people to connect with you?
Yeah, so yourcoachingpartner.co.uk is the website. I'm also on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Insta, TikTok, all I can never remember all of them. We're on all of them, aren't we? So I'm doing quite a lot on those. Another thing I've just started doing actually was popped into my head, which is I just started one this week of doing a weekly free meditation online. And that's on a Wednesday morning, 9:45 a.m. So trying to kind of catch that just before work slot. And that is, so I'm doing that through a live stream, and it goes out to various social media platforms, but LinkedIn is probably the best place to get hold of that. It's designed for neurodivergent minds, but it's suitable for everybody. So anybody can come along to that. We had half a dozen people this week coming along, and that was really lovely. So I'm sort of hoping that is something that's useful for people, gives them a moment of, just to kind of come back to the breath and to refocus midweek before we start the second half of our week. So yeah, I'm enjoying doing that as well. Loads of things. Yeah.
Just wow. It's just so wonderful to speak to you. Super, super inspiring. So thank you. So Rebecca's just shared your web link there in the comments. And yes, and you are everywhere on social media, and that meditation sounds wonderful. I'm sure that's incredibly valuable. Yeah, so go and check that out as well, everybody. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. It's been a real pleasure to speak to you, Morwenna.
You guys too. We've raced through it. I know I talk very fast. I'm conscious of talking fast, so maybe I should have slowed down a bit and spun it out. But no, I can tell you more if you like. I mean, the meditation this week, because I'm trying to sort of tie it into different events throughout the calendar. So, for example, this month is Tourette's Awareness Week, Tourette's Awareness Month, and so I did a specific meditation for people who have Tourette's, and obviously there are limitations or challenges for people who have Tourette's in terms of their movements and so on. So I made sure to sort of say things like, you don't have to sit and be still and kind of try not to tick and have all those kinds of things, to try and make it as inclusive as possible, because I sometimes think sometimes things like meditation are not always very inclusive to people who are different, maybe, that we have some assumptions about that. So I want it to be a space where people can come and be themselves. You don't have to sit or lie down. You can walk around. You can do your laundry if you want while you're doing the meditation. It doesn't have to be one way. So I'm quite curious to know how people feel about that and how that kind of comes across. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that.
Thank you for sharing that, and hopefully you can share the links and stuff, and then we can put them in the comments as well, so that people can connect. Yeah, people can connect with you. But Morwenna, it's always a pleasure to speak to you. We are really grateful for you being in the
community, for your time,
you engaging in supervision, and your learning and development that you delivered for us as well earlier on this year. So thank you.
Yes.
We're going to put you behind the scenes now and talk loads of good stuff about you. And we'll speak.
It'll be burning.
We'll speak to you very, very soon.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. What an inspiring conversation with wonderful Morwenna. So we learned so much from our wonderful collective members. I think each and every person has so much experience and knowledge and insight to bring, don't they? And one thing I love about the community is that everybody's so generous in the way in which they share and support each other.
Yeah, and I think we can learn from Morwenna. We're going to be picking her brains now and pulling her ears to tell us all about the Masters in Psychology, more about neurodiversity, but also, Morwenna, we can talk about our favourite literature as well. So, but if you want to connect and network with other coaches, Morwenna and the rest of the community, because this week we've been celebrating International Coaching Week, we have lots of coaches that will be joining us tomorrow at 10 a.m. for our final event of the week. And it's all about connection, networking, meeting other coaches from around the world. So we have that as 10 a.m. So that's UK time, and that's tomorrow. All you have to do for that is head to bit.ly/supervision workshops and sign up for that. Unfortunately, there will not be a replay for that tomorrow, because obviously it's about connection and we want to protect people's privacy and confidentiality. So if you're unable to turn up live to that, then we invite you to join us next week for listening partnership. So pop us a message if you are interested in that. If you have missed all of the workshops this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the masterclass today, then again, you can access those on the replay. If you haven't got that, then pop us an email and we'll be happy to send that across to you. But for now, that's a farewell from us.
That's it from us today. Thanks so much to Morwenna and to all of you for joining.